So not a tremendous amount of information or too much to show here, but I do want to keep you in the loop concerning the Expanse. Now, as many of you might be aware, Owlcat recently, not too long ago, announced that they're working on their first non-isometric CRPG in the form of the action RPG set in the Expanse setting, which is based on a series of books as well as a television series. And initially I was quite skeptical, but the reality is these days I realize I have to keep an open mind. If anything, my conversion to Rogue Trader / Warhammer 40k is an indication of this, and I've converted the same procedure of retaining an open mind to the Expanse, so I'm pretty excited about the Expanse. And what Owlcat has revealed is simply a bunch of environmental assets you can see here, them building the world or the universe or the solar system or the setting, as it were, of the Expanse. And I think we always need to bear in mind that when it comes to Owlcat has a lot of specialties, but one of their major specialties is how true they are to the setting that they are trying to recreate and embody in the game that they are making. And so we've seen this, for example, in Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous. I think, as I've said in a previous video, Rogue Trader is a tremendous rendition and translation of Warhammer 40k in the form of a CRPG. And I think it's fairly obvious, based on the environmental assets we can see, that they're trying to do the same justice to the Expanse setting. Even though I have very little knowledge of the Expanse to date, I still have not read the books, I still have not watched the series. I have read up on it, I know the gist, I know the basic ins and outs of the setting, but nonetheless, I think it's obvious that Owlcat is doing this vision justice of the Expanse, and we can see it here. And I think we also need to bear in mind, obviously, that Owlcat is still very much in the early stages of development. There is no ETA, understandably, because it's a ways off, I suspect, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing here. There will be almost certainly more revealed in time, but for now, we can look at this and say, look, it looks pretty good so far. Now, some of you might be experts in the Expanse setting, and I don't know enough about it to confirm or deny, but it looks pretty authentic to me. I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say when it comes to this in the comment section if you know about the Expanse. Now, for those of you who don't know, what we're going to be seeing in the Expanse is basically that setting, as I just said, brought to life. So we're going to have Earthers, that is human beings born on Earth. We're going to have Martians or human beings born on Mars. And we're going to have Belters who basically fit in either category, are tall and lanky, and they've developed these traits over several hundred years, to my understanding, because they basically work within the context of these low gravity stations or platforms where they, over time, have developed into somewhat different looking human beings compared to the rest of the human beings. These are all adaptations to the state of low gravity. And of course, in case you didn't know, gravity, or lack thereof, will play an important role in the Expanse. It's not going to be just magic. You're going to have to contend with gravity and the consequences of gravity, and it's going to be, for the most part, pretty scientific. There's no space magic in the Expanse, nothing like Mass Effect, but you're going to have a lot of tech and a lot of different variations of tech. And of course, you'll be able to choose your own protagonist, who's a mercenary working for the Pinkwater Company, and you can choose an Earthling, you can choose a Martian, you can choose a Belter. All three of these are options, and I strongly suspect that this will play in heavily into the gameplay, but more importantly, into the story. Owlcat does usually do reactivity pretty well in terms of your choices, and so if you play a Martian, if you play a Belter, or if you play a Borean Earthling, I have no doubt that reactivity to your background, your origin, will play a role and will have something to do with the people that you interact with throughout the game. But to be perfectly honest, we don't have terribly much information on it so far. I just thought it'd be neat to show off the environmental assets and to sort of keep you in the know a bit concerning the development of this game. I know as much as you, but I do think it's a long way off, and for now we can enjoy the slow drip stream of information that Owlcat is providing to us. And as always, thank you for tuning in. And if you like my content and you like my takes, you can leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's much appreciated, as it really helps out the channel. I will check you out next time. Take care.